Exclusive contracted novel by Feilu Novel Network. People in Beiliang, playing the role of the fire cloud evil god Su Bai, traveled through the heavens, once a fire cloud evil god, and later became the founder of the demon way, the supreme demon lord. Unexpectedly, crossing over again and arriving at a world of martial arts. Immortals, true Buddhists, and reckless killings, let alone the world of martial arts. It was simply a dimensionality reduction blow, so Su Bai lived a shameless and restless life. Having taken in a few beautiful and unparalleled maids, it would be a pleasure to teach the world. Renowned, peerless powerhouses, without any spare time. Until this day, the Crown Prince came to pay his respects, coinciding with the emergence of the Golden List and counting the world's demons. As the fire cloud evil god, Su Bai topped the gold list with the title of Ultimate Killer King. The founder of the demonic way in the past life, the world's immortal way, ranked second. Ascending to the sky, becoming a peerless demon lord, commanding the gods of the three realms, dare not disobey. At this point, the world is shaking. Prince Beiliang was shocked and said, "What kind of demon is this over there? It's clear that it's this prince. The strongest of the heavens, the sister of the demon that oppresses thousands of ways." Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. 3 Generations of Reincarnation. Dimension Reduction Strike. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1. 3 Generations of Reincarnation. Dimension Reduction Strike. There are countless experts in the northern young prince's mansion, both openly and secretly, many of whom have a prestigious reputation in the martial arts world. However, one of these people is the most special. This person is called Su Bai, and not many people in the entire royal mansion have seen him take action. But one thing is common, that is, everyone from top to bottom in the royal family pays great respect to this Su Bai Gongzi. Listening to the Xiao lake, Su Bai looked into the distance with her hands down. He is better dressed in white than snow, standing tall like a jade, with a graceful and ethereal temperament. "Mr. Su Bai, I wonder how Li's swordsmanship was just now. If there are any shortcomings in swordsmanship, I hope you can correct it, sir." Standing opposite Su Bai is a one-armed old man wearing sheepskin fur. The identity of the old man is not simple, because he was Li Chungang, the sword god who shook the world in the Dali martial arts world a year ago. "Your swordsmanship just now barely made it." If the conversation between Su Bai and Li Chungang were heard by people from the three rivers and lakes of Beimang, Liang, and Beiliang, their heads would definitely fall to the ground in shock. The sword god Li Chungang, who is known as the eternal beacon of swordsmanship and invincible to the world, needs to ask the young master about his sword. Not only that, but the swordsmanship of the old sword god Li Chungang was barely passable in Su Bai's mouth. "Ha ha ha. It seems that I have been practicing hard for many days and have indeed made progress." After being criticized by Su Bai for barely making do, Li Chungang not only didn't get angry, but also burst out laughing, very proud. He can certainly be proud, because there are not many people in the world whose swordsmanship can catch Su Bai's eye. For everyone in the prince's mansion of Qingliang Mountain, the origin of Su Bai is mysterious. For Su Bai himself, his background is simply off the beaten track. He has gone through many cycles in the long river of time. His recent reincarnation in 3 lifetimes has been full of brilliance, with a punch in the sky and a kick on the ground. In his first life, he was the ultimate killer king, the fire cloud evil god, extremely fierce and rampant for countless years in the world. In the end, because I couldn't find my opponent, I had to hide and pass the time. However, reincarnation seemed to have no end. The second one, he was a giant in the realm of magic, known as the founder of the realm of magic. In this life, he has extraordinary magical skills, commanding endless ghosts and possessing countless treasures, and is proficient in almost all magical and evil skills in the world. This is not over yet, his third life has begun. In the third world, he was the archenemy of the first divine general Feipeng in the heavenly court, the demon lord Chonglu. However, he did not fight Feipeng back and forth. He walked through endless cycles and accumulated countless cycles. The divine general Feipeng regarded him as an archenemy, but in fact, Feipeng is not qualified to confront him now. After he casually pinched Feipeng, he turned back to this place, the world of Kyushu. This time, reincarnation seemed to have come to an end. He walked day after day until today, but couldn't leave Kyushu at all. Mr. Su Bai, I hope you can correct any mistakes or omissions in my swordsmanship. Li Chuangong's voice pulled Su Bai's thoughts back. When he lost his beloved in pain and exchanged arms with Sui Shiegu, he completely fell from the altar and fell into a low valley. I thought I would spend my remaining life listening to your Excellency Xiao, but I didn't expect such a mysterious person as Su Bai to appear in the northern young prince's mansion. Su Bai is unfathomable, but he is a humble gentleman, gentle as jade. Anyone who has been by his side for a period of time cannot help but feel close, gradually being completely impressed by his profound talent and personal charm. But Su Bai can't be considered a good man and a faithful woman. In that endless cycle, he has mastered too many skills. If we order these skills, it would be: he ranks 10th in swordsmanship, 9th in talismanship, 8th in alchemy, 3rd in formation, 2nd in Taoism, and 1st in magic. Unfortunately, this humble gentleman, Mr. Su Bai, who is as gentle as jade, has often been a great demon lord in the long cycle of reincarnation. Brotherly, look forward to it. After Li Chungang asked for his sword, Su Bai waved his sleeve robe. A frosty white phantom appeared in front of Li Chungang, unleashing his swordsmanship once again. Immediately, Li Chuangong's face changed, and he was shocked as never before. Su Bai's frost-white virtual shadow uses the same sword technique as his, but it is different in terms of internal force wandering and the subtleties of the sword technique. Know from the smallest moment. From this perspective, the swordsmanship he developed in seclusion for a month had 70 or 80 flaws. The strength of Su Bai is evident in its mediocrity. Among the top 10 strongest skills of Su Bai, swordsmanship can only rank 10th. Mr. Su Bai, are you really an exiled immortal named Ling Chen? After calming his shocked mood, Li Chungang couldn't help but ask. No, it's not. Su Bai smiled and shook her head. Upon receiving this answer, Li Chungang also breathed a sigh of relief. If Su Bai were an exiled immortal named Ling Chen, he probably wouldn't have the right to ask Su Bai for a sword in his lifetime. What Li Chungang didn't know was that he had just misinterpreted Su Bai's subtext. Su Bai is not Ling Chen, an exiled immortal, because for Su Bai, exiled immortals are nothing. He arrived in this Kyushu world about 500 years ago. Day after day, he discussed swordsmanship with Liu Zhu, Liu Dongxian, fist with Gao Shulu, the heavenly man of forget worries, and Dao with Qi Xianjian, the great immortal. He also killed many of those shameless exiled immortals in the lower world. Coming out of the long cycle, Su Bai was also a bit confused at this moment, and he didn't know what he should do. The Kyushu world he is currently in is a world where martial arts are prevalent. In this world, there are only 9 rivers and lakes, including the Great Qin, Great Tang, Great Song, Great Ming, Great Li, and so on. Between most rivers and lakes, there are natural barriers that ordinary people find difficult to cross. Although there are also alchemists in this place, most of them are warriors. He is a peerless demon lord walking around the world of Kyushu, truly a bit of a bully. This may not be the 4 words of dimensionality reduction and strike, which can be summarized in one word. Su Bai Gongzi, Yue Wei has practiced a new sword dance. Do you have time to watch it? Dressed in a snow-white dress, Yue Wei, holding a white cat in front of the exaggerated peaks, walked leisurely from a distance. The white cat in her arms is called Wu Meinyang. Apart from Yue Wei, the little one in the royal mansion always ignores everyone. Of course, except for Su Bai. At this moment, Wu Meinyang jumped out of Yu Youwei's arms and arrived at Su Bai's feet. Wu Meinyang meowed as she rubbed her head against Su Bai's legs, acting coquettishly. Su Bai doesn't have any peculiar aura, but now he is kind to people, making everyone, even cats, feel that this jade-like young master is very approachable. Amidst Yu Youwei's expectant gaze, Su Bai nodded and agreed to enjoy her sword dance. This is his current leisurely life. Every day, he looks at Tingchao Lake and occasionally instructs Li Chuangong's swordsmanship. If Yu Youwei choreographs a new sword dance, come and enjoy the beauty and charm of this woman, who is known for her unparalleled swordsmanship. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 2. Kyushu Demon List Now. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2. Kyushu Demon List Now. In the prince's mansion of Beiliang, there are many elegant and luxurious courtyards. The Wudong courtyard where Su Fengnian, the son of Beiliang, lived, and the Harren courtyard next to Wudong courtyard were all like this. The person living in Harren courtyard is Su Bai. Young master, good fortune. When Su Bai and Yu Youwei arrived at the Harren courtyard, many maids in the courtyard saluted and paid their respects together. Su Bai nodded slightly and then calmly entered the courtyard. Before Yu Youwei could start dancing her sword, an old man with a slight limp came to the outside of Harren courtyard. Beside this old man, there was another young gentleman. Farewell to the prince. Farewell to His Highness the Crown Prince. Many maidservants and servants in Harren courtyard saluted one after another. The ones who came to Harren Academy to find Su by this time were undoubtedly the Prince of Northern Liang, Su Xiao, and the Crown Prince of Northern Liang, Su Fengnian. In the prince's mansion of Qingliang Mountain and throughout the entire Beiliang Road, Su Xiao has sufficient control. The lives and deaths of countless people are all within his grasp. However, at this moment, whether it's Su Xiao, the king of Beiliang, or Su Fengnian, the first playboy in Beiliang Road. When they saw Su Bai, both of them had a sincere and respectful expression on their faces. Su Xiao is one of the few people who has seen Su Bai take action, and he is very aware of the terrifying nature of this nobleman in white. Mr. Su Bai. Su Xiao has a heartless request. In front of Su Bai, Prince Su Xiao of Northern Liang never dared to claim himself as his own king. It's not how terrifying Su Bai is, but Su Xiao's deep respect for Su Bai. Prince, please speak. As Su Bai spoke, he signaled to the Prince of Northern Liang and His Highness the Crown Prince to take their seats. When interacting with Su Bai, most people will have a very comfortable feeling. That feeling is like basking in the spring breeze, with a sense of pride. It seems that this humble gentleman is a high-ranking figure like a nine heavens divine dragon, and it is a great honor to be able to talk to him. Su Bai treats people and things without giving a sense of distance, and everyone can feel his warm and sincere like jade. How could such an exiled immortal young master, Yu Youwei, and the woman in the royal mansion remain unmoved? The more polite and sincere Su Bai was, the more respectful Su Xiao became towards him. Mr. Su Bai, I want Xiaonian to learn martial arts from you. Would this bother Mr. Qingjing? When Su Xiao said these words, he had already exhausted a great deal of courage. The king of Beiliang knew very well that as long as the person in front of him nodded, the crown prince of Beiliang, Su Fengnian, would be considered to have ascended to the sky and jumped over the dragon gate. If Su Bai disagrees, there is no other way. Sure. This is a small matter, I will teach Xiaonian carefully in the future. Su Bai's tone was gentle and elegant, and his answer made Su Xiaoxi stand out, leaving her extremely excited. Su Fengnian, who was standing beside him, couldn't believe it. Su Bai agreed to what seemed extremely difficult to him. You should know that before him, this Mr. Su Bai had no disciples. Being able to become a disciple of Su Bai is not an exaggeration, it can be said to be a leap to the sky. In the Haoran courtyard, countless gazes were also shocked at this moment, and everyone envied Su Fengnian to the extreme. Su Fengnian pays his respects to the teacher. After Su Bai nodded, Su Fengnian did not hesitate and immediately performed the apprenticeship ceremony. Please, Crown Prince. Su Bai gestured for Su Fengnian to get up, then looked at Su Xiao and asked. Is there anything else that the prince is here for? Upon hearing Su Bai's words, Su Xiao waved his hand repeatedly. Sir, being able to accept Xiaonian as a disciple is already a great kindness to the Su family in Beiliang. How dare you trouble Sir again? Of course, there are many things that need to be solved in Beiliang nowadays, and with the methods of Su Bai, these things are not even a problem. However, Su Xiao cherishes the long-standing romantic relationship between the Su family in Beiliang and Su Bai. It's not easy to establish a romantic relationship with this young master Su Bai. For this Su Bai young master, gold, silver, and jewelry are no different from listening to the flowing water in the Chaohu Lake or the yellow sand in Beiliang and Guangwai. Others are unaware of the financial resources of this young master Su Bai, but he still has a clear idea in his heart. It's not just about being wealthy, it's simply unfathomable. As for antique calligraphy and painting, giving these things to Su Bai would be even more self-deprecating. Even if Su Bai doodles casually, he must make the calligraphers and painters sweat and make them feel ashamed. The most valuable thing in the northern young prince's mansion, as well as the treasure that countless warriors around the world are staring at, is of course the secret collection in the Chaohu arsenal. But for Su Bai, those secrets are just waste paper. Because this young master Su Bai could casually say a few words about the essence of martial arts, which may be more profound and mysterious than listening to the top martial arts in the Chao Pavilion. How could the entire northern young prince's mansion not be respectful towards such a person? Teacher, I once heard from Grandpa Wei that among your many skills, swordsmanship ranks 10th. I wonder what is the most powerful skill of the teacher. Su Fengnian has a great fondness for this approachable teacher. He also asked a question that everyone in the Qingliangshan prince's mansion was very interested in. Well, let me play a trick for now, it's not even time to say. Su Bai picked up the fragrant tea sent by her maid, took a sip, and smiled as she said. Among his many skills, he ranks 10th in swordsmanship and 1st in magic. If this were to be said, it would be quite different from his humble and gentle image as a gentleman. Teacher, the disciple just casually asked. Don't blame me, teacher. After Su Fengnian finished speaking, his gaze moved and he continued to ask. What does the teacher think of the 10 martial arts judges in the world today? The so-called 10 martial critics refer to the top 10 experts in the 3 rivers and lakes of Beimang, Liang, and Beiliang. These 10 masters are the lifelong goals pursued by countless martial artists in the 3 rivers and lakes. Fair enough. Su Bai said in a calm voice. If his evaluation were to be known to other martial artists in the martial arts world, it would inevitably trigger 1,000 waves with just one stone. If there were 10,000 warriors in the 3 rivers and lakes, there wouldn't be only 90.990.9 warriors jumping out and fighting against him. Because the 10 martial arts judges are all figures at the top of the martial arts mountain. The evaluation of those 10 people by ordinary martial artists in the martial arts world is that they can't reach them, but their hearts are focused on them. Who dares to believe that there are people in the world today who only give fair evaluations of these 10 great martial arts masters? Boom! Unexpectedly, at this moment, the vast sky suddenly underwent a change. What's going on? In the Haoran courtyard, Su Xiao, the king of northern Liang, showed a surprised expression on his face. Ha! What is that thing in the sky? Prince Su Fengnian of Beiliang also showed a puzzled expression on his face. Su Bai also looked up calmly at this moment and saw a scroll slowly unfolding on the sky. This scroll covers the sky and the sun, vast and boundless, magnificent. Rows of text also appear on a huge scroll in the sky. The rolling Yangtze River flows eastward, and the waves wash away heroes. The list of Kyushu demons is out, and all the unparalleled demons in Kyushu are on the list. Those who make it to the list will receive a reward of heavenly blessings. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 3 Magic List 20. Sword Demon Yen 13. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Chapter 3 Magic List 20. Sword Demon Yen 13. The scene above the sky is too shocking. The painting that stretches across the sky is as vast as a continuous and undulating mountain range. Mr. Su Bai, what is this? In the palace of the Prince of Qingliang Mountain, the Prince of Beiliang, Su Xiao, was shocked and stunned. The other people in the northern young prince's mansion were also looking similar at the moment, and this scene was simply unbelievable. Prince, there's no need to panic. This is the Heavenly Way ranking, which evaluates the world's dragon python talents. Su Bai took a sip of Snow Mountain tea and calmly spoke. To the martial artists of Kyushu, these methods were astonishing and unbelievable. For Su Bai, however, in the long river of time, he has seen many such Heavenly Way lists. Young master, look at the changes on that list. At this moment, Yu Wei next to Su Bai suddenly spoke up. Everyone's gaze also turned towards the list again. Mo Bang 20, Sword Demon Yen 13. On the Kyushu demon list, a prominent line of blood-red handwriting appeared. That line of oneself stretches across the sky like a mountain range. Sword Demon Yen 13. Who is this person? King Su Xiao of Beiliang looked at Su Bai again and asked about the news of Sword Demon. The vision on the sky made the king of Northern Liang uneasy, while Su Bai's calm and casual demeanor made him feel much more at ease. An interesting swordsman. After thinking for a moment, Su Bai gave an evaluation that almost no one had ever said before. At the same time, in the imperial palace of Liang, the officials of the Manchu dynasty also fell into a prolonged and irreparable shock. Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on here? Sword Demon Yen 13, who are you? Emperor Liang Zhaochun was shocked and looked at the sky. Even if Liang had exhausted his heritage, he couldn't come up with such hidden methods to block the sun. Your Majesty, this is a means of heaven and man. When heaven and man reveal the Dharma, there must be instructions. Sword Demon Yen 13, perhaps an extraordinary talent. Anyway, I must fight for Liang. At this moment, the imperial censorate stood out and spoke with great solemnity. On the court of Liang, the Minister of Man also nodded at this moment. They still agree with the statement that there must be instructions for the manifestation of heaven and man. In front of the Beimang Empress, there were also many Beimang Qi refining scholars standing respectfully in the Beimang imperial court. What kind of omen is this strange celestial phenomenon? The Empress Beimang looked down at the people below and asked seriously. To report to your Majesty, this is a means of heaven and man, beyond the reach of human beings. No matter what the celestial phenomena are, Beimang must attach great importance to them. A North Mang alchemist bowed and spoke. I would like to support you. Beimang army deity Tuoba Bodhisattva, Morom Baoding, Dong Zhua and other high-ranking officials also nodded. In the imperial palace of the great Qin dynasty, Emperor Yingzheng stood with his hands down and looked up at the sky. Beside Yingzheng, there was the swordsman Gai Nye of the Zongheng family and Zhao Gao, the supervisor of the great Qin dynasty. Mr. Gai Nye, have you ever heard of this swordsman named Yen 13? How does his sword compare to Mr. Gain? Compared to the surprise of Emperor Liang and the solemnity of Emperor Beimang, Emperor Daqin was very relaxed. He swept across the 6 countries and unified the world. He has gone through too many tests, and he is now calm and comfortable. I have never heard of this swordsman. But such celestial phenomena are truly extraordinary, and those who can make it to the list are definitely not ordinary people. Great Qin needs to be treated with caution. Although Guy Nye had never heard of the swordsman Yen 13, he did not think it was a small matter. Xiao Gao on the side didn't take it seriously, at least for now. He didn't think this sword demon was so terrible. Xiao Gao doesn't know, it won't be long before he changes this wrong and outrageous idea. In the palace of the Tang dynasty, Emperor Li Shimin was still drinking. In the main hall, both civil and military officials of the Manchu dynasty were discussing the sudden appearance of celestial phenomena. Your Majesty, it's not a small matter that the celestial phenomena are different. I suggest immediately ordering an investigation into Yen 13. Wei Zheng, a high-ranking official of the Tang dynasty, gave this advice to Li Shimin. It is not yet known how powerful the people who can make it to the Kyushu magic list are. But these people who can make it to the Kyushu magic list are definitely famous throughout Kyushu. Not only the supreme rulers of Kyushu are paying attention to them, but countless people in Kyushu are also staring at these people. Everyone wants to know whether they are invincible scholars under great fame, or are they actually difficult to match under great fame. In the imperial palace of the Song dynasty, the emperor of the Song dynasty is still drawing the formation diagram at this time. The emperor of the Song dynasty was very interesting, and his favorite thing to do was to draw a military formation diagram. Every time the army goes on an expedition, almost always a formation plan is given. Unfortunately, his military level was in a mess, and the Song dynasty's military commanders were extremely helpless about it. Ladies and gentlemen, what kind of person is this sword demon Yen 13? Why is the name so strange? The emperor of the Song dynasty drew a formation while asking questions. Your Majesty, although I don't know who this person is, such a strange celestial phenomenon must lead to something happening. I, the great Song dynasty in the great Song Jianghu, must make active responses. In the imperial palace of the Song dynasty, Yu Wumu spoke loudly and loudly. Accurate. The emperor of Song nodded and then continued to draw the formation. Not only the northern Mang, Liang, northern Liang, Great Qin, Great Tang, Great Song, but also the Great Ming, Yongye, and so on, there are countless people in the 9 cities of the world. At this moment, everyone is paying attention to the sudden appearance of the Kyushu demon list above the sky. From the moment the Kyushu demon list appeared, everyone made some decisions. Some people believe that all the people appearing on the Kyushu demon list are key targets for supervision and attention. We must treat these people with both caution and caution. Some people, on the other hand, feel that this is a great opportunity to make a name for themselves. Once on the list, it will be known throughout Kyushu. What a remarkable achievement and a shining reputation is this. It seems not easy to make it on the Kyushu demon list. Under the Ming dynasty, Wanmei Mountain Villa. This is the place where sword god Shimen Chueshue practices swordsmanship. Dressed in white, Shimen Chueshue is as cold as snow, looking contemptuously at the 9 provinces demon list. He is not interested in the list, he is very interested in this guy who claims to be a sword demon. Shimen Chueshue is very interested in the top experts in the world, as well as the top swordsmen in the world. I don't know how this person's swordsmanship is, I hope he doesn't become a notorious person. Shimen Chueshue spoke coldly and arrogantly. This person is a first-class expert. Lu Xiaofeng took a sip of wine and casually said. How do you know he's a master? A hint of doubt flashed through Shimen Chueshue's heart. I'm talking nonsense. Lu Xiaofeng's answer remained as cynical as ever. The honest monk on the side clasped his hands together and secretly thought to himself that Lu Xiaofeng was really not afraid of Shimen Chueshue cutting him with a sword. At this time, the 9 provinces demon list above the sky once again underwent changes. The grand and majestic 9 provinces demon list, shrouded in dazzling heavenly power, appeared in a transformed picture. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 4 Sword Chi crosses 30,000 miles. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4 Sword Chi crosses 30,000 miles. The image on the huge scroll of the Kyushu demon list was quickly and clearly presented to everyone. The cold wind rustles, and the fallen leaves rustle. There are people in the mountains and forests, many people. Yen 13 is lonely, but his surroundings are always very lively. Because his deadly 13 swords are unparalleled swordsmanship that is claimed to be comparable to the swordsmanship of the third young master of the divine sword mountain, Xiao. The third young master of Xinjian Villa has already won the reputation of being the world's first sword many years ago. There are very few people who dare to attack the divine sword villa, but many who dare to come and weigh with Yen 13. Some people are named, some are for profit and some are for revenge. Yen 13 is not only a swordsman, but also a killer. Countless martial arts experts have died under his sword for many years. In the mountains and forests, the sword is cold, and what is even colder than the sword is Yen 13's indifferent eyes. What is even colder than his eyes is his heart, which has almost no warmth. What a deadly aura! Beiliang, within the royal palace on the Qingliang mountain. Many experts in the Wang mansion have gathered at the Haran Academy after seeing the strange celestial phenomena. The one who just spoke is one of the strongest experts in Beiliang, his name is Su Yanbing. Is this person the sword demon Yen 13? It's really scary. The person who spoke this time is a Taoist. This Taoist is called Wei Shuyang and is one of the gatekeepers of the Tingqiao Pavilion's arsenal. When Su Fengnian returned from his travels in the martial arts world, his appearance from the Tingqiao Pavilion was exceptionally impressive. If it weren't for being stabbed a few times by Chu Kuangnu and going into the water, he would still be a highly skilled expert in terms of appearance. Look! Yen 13 made a move. Besides Su Xiao, one of his adopted sons, Lu Qiu'er, spoke up. Lu Qiu'er's words also caught the attention of everyone present. In the mountains and forests, Yen 13 has already wielded his sword. His swordsmanship is cold, ruthless, and decisive to the extreme. Suddenly, frost-white sword lights appeared in the mountains and forests. Numerous martial artists from the martial arts world who came to surround and kill Yen 13 were already dead in just a few breaths. To be precise, there is still one person standing. His name is Crow, and he is also a killer, a very powerful killer. You have already wielded 12 swords, perhaps I can learn from your 13th sword. Crow roared. You'd better not learn. The 13 paths of Yen. What if I have to learn? When the crow said these words, a smile appeared on its face. Then you will die. Yen Shisan's tone was very casual. Although he was talking about murder, it seemed as casual as talking about eating. I don't believe it. The crow didn't believe it, so he took action. As soon as he made a move, he felt remorse in his heart because he had already seen the exquisite and unparalleled swordsmanship. He believed that this swordsmanship was enough to defeat the third young master, who was known as the best sword in the world. Yen 13 left the mountains and forests, and the crow saw the last sword of the deadly 13 swords, so he died. If the crow were any smarter, it would have found that Yen 13 was adept at killing him. Of course, there is also a reason for this, because at this time, Yen 13 did not only realize the 13 deadly swords. In this battle, the people of Kyushu did not see much stirring. What they saw was only Yen 13's helplessness as a martial artist in the martial arts world. The scene on the sky has changed again at this moment. I don't know what will happen again this time. In the northern young prince's mansion, Wei Laodao muttered to himself. The name, Sword Demon, is well deserved. The 13 deadly swords are definitely top-notch murder swordsmanship in the world. Chu Kuangnu, dragging 2 long iron chains behind him, spoke confidently at this moment. After speaking, he added a sentence. I wish I could fight against one of them. After Chu Kuan-nu finished speaking, everyone around him looked at him strangely. Cough. Su Bai coughed lightly and took a sip of tea. He is truly a humble gentleman who did not overthrow the Chu barbarians. Even Yen 13, who only understood the 13 deadly swords, was stronger than Chu Kuan-nu. Teacher, how is your swordsmanship compared to Yen 13? After all, Prince Su Fengnian of Beiliang is just a newcomer in the martial arts world. He had just watched Yen 13 defeat many masters in all directions, and only felt that Yen 13's swordsmanship was very impressive. He knew that Su Bai was also unfathomable, but he still asked this question curiously. It's just that His Highness the Crown Prince discovered that his problem had arisen. In the northern young prince's mansion, all the masters had a very exciting expression. After a while, Wei Lao Dao, the kind-hearted person, explained to His Highness the Crown Prince. His Royal Highness, the 9th grade of martial arts, with the highest grade of 1st grade, and the title of Grandmaster. If the swordsmanship of an ordinary 1st class master is as high as 1 or 2 floors, then the swordsmanship of Lao Huang and Jian Jiuhuang is about as high as 8 or 9 floors. The deadly 13 swords of Sword Demon Yen 13 and the 9 yellow swords of Sword 9 should be between Buzhong. Mr. Su Bai's swordsmanship is not as high as 1 or 2 floors, nor as high as 8 or 9 floors. Of course, it's not as high as a 100-story building. Mr. Su Bai's swordsmanship is higher than the sky. The Su Bai swordsmanship mentioned by Wei Lao Dao is superior to heaven, not flattering. In the northern young prince's mansion, all the experts who have seen Su Bai take action agree with this. If it weren't for this, the entire royal family wouldn't have been extremely respectful to Su Bai. The teacher's swordsmanship is so amazing. His Highness the Crown Prince was stunned at this moment. He had never thought that this Su Bai vanguard was so unfathomable. Su Fengnian couldn't continue to think about it, and there had already been a change in the sky at this moment. On that huge scroll, a brand new image appeared. As soon as this scene appeared, many people present sat up straight. In the picture, 2 unparalleled swordsmen engage in a earth-shaking and heart-wrenching battle in the mountains and forests. One of them, everyone is very familiar with it. He is the Sword Demon Yen 13, ranked 20th on the Kyushu demon list. His sword has already been seen by everyone, domineering and fierce. However, at this moment, Yen 13 was suppressed. Because across from him is the 3rd young master of the Divine Sword Villa, the world's top sword Xiao. The battle between the two is grand. For a moment, the sword energy crisscrossed 30,000 miles, and one sword shone cold in 19 provinces. Xiaofeng's sword is almost perfect flawless swordsmanship. This kind of swordsmanship seems to have no shortcomings or weaknesses. So even if it's Yen 13, even if it's death taking 13 swords, they are still resolved one by Xiaofeng. No one in Kyushu could have imagined that even as strong as Yen 13, they would encounter such a terrifying opponent. But Yen 13 did not disappoint everyone in the 9 provinces. After taking 13 swords, his swordsmanship changed again. Xiaofeng, who had been calm all along, also showed a hint of surprise at this moment. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 5. Divine Yen 13. Deadly 15 Swords. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5 Divine Yen 13. Deadly 15 Swords. Yen 13 is lonely, Xiaofeng is boring. A person who has mastered almost flawless swordsmanship in the world has become the #1 sword queen in the world. He went to a brothel under his name and became an ordinary person to squander his talent and life. So he is bored, it's simply boring to the extreme. But he was also proud, he didn't even take Yen 13's deadly 13 sword seriously. In his opinion, that could not be considered such a brilliant swordsmanship. He easily cracked the deadly 13 swords that made countless people feel terrifying. But he didn't expect that after taking 13 deadly swords, there would be a change in the 14th sword. Oh my goodness! Yen 13's swordsmanship surprisingly has the 14th sword. Chu Kuangnu widened his eyes in surprise, and his back was sweating profusely. This sword was already in great danger to him. If he faced this sword directly, he would probably be dead. He can't escape, nor can he crack it. In the world of Kyushu, countless people share the same shock and fear as the crazy slaves of Chu. They never expected that this terrible swordsmanship would have a 14th change. Many people are fearful, many are shocked, and there are also more people who are greedy. If they could obtain such swordsmanship, wouldn't they immediately be able to rank among the top experts? But at this moment, countless people saw an incredible scene. How could it be possible? Wei Shuyang stood up with an incredible expression on his face. Because by the time Yen 13 unleashed the deadly 14 swords, Xia Xiaofeng had already mastered the incredible and mysterious swordsmanship to dissolve this sword. The first sword in the world, definitely deserving of its name. Being able to resolve this sword is an incredible feat in itself, a miracle in itself. Because the 14th sword of Yen 13 is so exquisite and terrifying. If it weren't for what I saw with my own eyes, who would have believed that there is such exquisite and unparalleled swordsmanship in this world? Who can believe that swordsmanship like this can also be cracked? In the imperial palace of Duqin, Zhao Gao was afraid. At the beginning, he was indifferent to sword demon Yen 13. But now, he already knows what kind of terrifying man this is. Even though his deadly 14 swords have been cracked by Xia Xiaofeng, he is still incredibly terrifying. Just when everyone felt that third young master's perfect swordsmanship could defeat Yen 13. A terrible scene has appeared. This time, there are still countless people shocked, and there are still countless people shocked. But they seem too shocked, and the shock lasts for a long time and cannot be recalled. Because it was at this time that Yen 13 drew his sword again. After an incredible 14 swords, he actually handed out the 15th sword. This is too scary, it's also too scary. When this sword appeared, everyone seemed to have seen the Abhidharma, death, and terrifying slaughter. Yen 13's complexion has also changed. He doesn't want to kill Xia Xiaofeng, he just wants to compete with him. But his sword had a strange tremor, a terrifying rhythm. His sword unexpectedly got out of control, as if it were a dragon that no one could control once it appeared. Even Yen 13 cannot stop this sword. Xia Xiaofeng's face also showed a look of fear. Even he cannot break this sword. He understood that under this sword, he could only die. He is not afraid of death, he just has some regrets. He finally saw the swordsmanship he wanted to see, but unfortunately he no longer had the opportunity to study the mystery of this sword. Otherwise, it would definitely be a great pleasure in his life. Pushi. A blood arrow appeared, but Xia Xiaofeng did not die. Even if he couldn't stop this sword, he still hadn't died. Because Yen 13 ended his life with the 15th sword at the last moment. He believed in Xia Xiaofeng, and he believed that the third young master in front of him could truly master and crack this sword. Although he realized this sword, he was able to do so because Murongchuri taught him the unparalleled swordsmanship of his third young master. Yes, we need to correct the name of third young master here. It is a funny rumor that the third young master learned the deadly 13 swords of Yen 13. On the contrary, it was the fiancé A.E. of the third young master who revealed his unparalleled swordsmanship and revealed the flaws in his swordsmanship to Yen Shursan. No one will delve into these grievances in the martial arts world anymore. Because today, Yen 13 has completed his mission and unleashed the terrifying deadly 15 swords. It's too scary. In the prince's mansion of Qingliang Mountain, the Chu Kuangnu was already soaked in cold sweat behind him. Not only him, but all the people in the palace who could see the sword clearly just now felt death. No one mocked Yen 13 because he understood the deadly swordsmanship. Those who are qualified to mock him will not mock him. Those who mock him are actually not worthy of mocking this swordsman. With the 14 deadly swords, the old Taoist will surely die. Wei Shuyang didn't feel that this was a loss of face. Yen 13's sword was already incredibly powerful and terrifying. At this moment, Prince Su Xiao of Beiliang glanced at Su Bai. Su Bai still had a faint smile on his face. When Su Xiao, the Prince of Northern Liang, looked at him, he also raised his glass and took a sip of Snow Mountain tea. Mr. Su Bai, how about Yen 13's deadly 15 swords? Su Xiao, the king of Beiliang, asked solemnly. Eyes around also turned to Su Bai at this moment. A newborn baby. Su Bai seemed to be playing a riddle with everyone, saying something that everyone couldn't figure out. Su Bai Gongzi means. After all, Yu Yue often comes to Haran Academy and knows the most about Su Bai. So she hesitated for a moment, still trying to explain. Su Bai Gongzi means that this sword is like a newborn baby. Although it is not perfect now, there are infinite possibilities in the future. It has to be said that Yu Yue is indeed very intelligent. She had already guessed 8 or 9 times without leaving 10. Xia Xiaofeng's ability to decipher the 14th sword with ease shows his exceptional talent in swordsmanship. Given time, it is possible for him to break the deadly 15 swords. Even if it cannot be cracked, he can better grasp it. After wielding this sword, it is no longer a sword that unleashes the dragon, but a sword that can send and receive freely, allowing for obedience and rebellion. Su Bai's evaluation of Xia Xiaofeng is clearly extremely high. But he still had one last sentence to say, which was that he could crack the deadly 15 swords. Unfortunately. It is a huge loss for all swordsmen in the world to see such a genius in swordsmanship collapse like this. Listening to the top of the Chao Pavilion, no one noticed that there was already an old man in sheepskin fur here at this moment. He felt that the loss of Yen 13 was the loss of all swordsmen in the world. This sheepskin fur old man, named Li Chungang, was an invincible sword god in the martial arts world a century ago. At this moment, Li Chungang's face couldn't help but show a solemn expression. The Yen 13 in the demon ranking 20 is so terrifying, and how terrifying is the guy in front of the demon ranking. P.S. Is there anyone else reading this book? If there are any, please kneel down and ask everyone to cast some flowers, give tips, give feedback, and leave comments. Thank you. Whenever there is a reward, it will explode at 10 tomorrow. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 6. Incredible Rewards and Rankings. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6. Incredible Rewards and Rankings. The demon list has caused a huge uproar in the world of Kyushu. The vast majority of people in the 9 great emperors were attracted to the 9 provinces demon list. Under the gaze of everyone, the huge scroll on the sky underwent another transformation. In that scene, several lines of crimson characters appeared. Mo Bang 20, Yen 13. He is a swordsman, and even more so, a killer, a most ruthless swordsman, a most ruthless assassin since his debut. Countless Jianghu people have died at his hands. Some people should be killed, some people should not be killed, but these people all died by his sword in the final moments of his life. He devoted himself to the sword, transformed into a demon, and comprehended the deadly 15 swords. Yen 13. Ranked 20th on the magic list, reward for the magic list. Rebirth. Countless people were shocked and these small characters appeared on the huge scroll in the sky. What? Rebirth. How could there be such a reward on the Kyushu demon list? In the world of Kyushu, countless people were shocked. They were also wondering before how to claim the reward when all 13 Yen people had died. Now everyone knows that there is such a terrifying reward on the Kyushu demon list. The Grand Qin Palace, Yingzheng suddenly stood up. Rebirth. He said these two words with great excitement in his mouth. What he pursues is immortality, and what he dreams of is the elixir of immortality. But it's hard to say if there is an elixir in this world, but this rebirth is real. This 9 provinces demon list is already an incredible means of heaven and man, how can it be fake? Your Majesty, look. There have been new changes on the Kyushu demon list. When the Qin Emperor was excited, Qin Prime Minister Li Si suddenly spoke up. At this moment, the Qin Emperor and numerous civil and military officials also turned their attention to the list of the 9 provinces demons. The rows of crimson characters just now have undergone changes, as if a divine being is writing on the sky. Kyushu demon list, a total of 20 people from all over Kyushu make it to the list, and those who make it will receive rewards. Kyushu demon ranking evaluation criteria, killing and threat level to Kyushu world. These 2 sentences, the first one is easy to understand. This Kyushu demon list will select people from all over Kyushu. With the changes in Kyushu characters, stronger demons will emerge, and the rankings will also change accordingly. As long as you can make it to the list, you will have unexpected benefits. Far away, just like the sword demon Yen 13 who made it to the list this time, after committing suicide, he actually got a chance to be reborn. Mr. Su Bai, what does the second sentence mean? In the northern young prince's mansion, Su Xiao looked at Su Bai and asked politely. He understood the first sentence. Although he is esteemed as the king of northern Liang, in reality he is just a second-grade junior master. If the selection criteria for the Kyushu demon list are based on the strength of martial arts, then he is destined to have no chance. The meaning of the second sentence is that the selection of the Kyushu demon list mainly depends on how much killing this person has caused on the land of Kyushu. In addition, it also depends on his level of danger to the world of Kyushu. Some people may have killed many people, but now they don't have much threat to the world of Kyushu. Some people may not have killed anyone, but they are naturally a big demon, and such people undoubtedly pose great danger to the world of Kyushu. Simply put, strength is not the only criterion for being on the list. Others may not fully understand the 9 provinces demon list, but Su Bai knows the mystery behind it. So it's like this. After listening to Su Bai finish speaking, Su Xiao nodded, and everyone around him understood what was going on. In fact, this sentence is not difficult to understand. Everyone can come back to ponder and understand it. When the subsequent characters on the Kyushu demon list are selected, everyone can instantly understand. This Kyushu demon list is so impressive that there is even a reward like rebirth. Su Bai and Su Xiao were not far away, and Wei Laodao's face was full of shocking expressions as he spoke. Not only Wei Laodao, but this incident is very shocking for everyone in Jojo. If that's the case, it's probably not easy to make it to the Kyushu demon list. Chu Kuangnu spoke with some emotion. There are only 20 spots on the Kyushu demon list, and the 20 spots on the demon list are ruthless people like Yen 13. And after the other party committed suicide, the Kyushu demon list actually gave him a chance to be reborn. Of course, these things are also uncertain. Perhaps there is only one chance for such rebirth, or not everyone can be reborn. After the emergence of the Kyushu demon list, the northern young prince's mansion became very lively. Many places in the 9 provinces of the world are very lively at this moment. Under the Ming dynasty, Wanmei Mountain Villa. Shimen Chueshue, dressed in white, has already set off to search for Yen 13. He wants to compete with the other party in swords. He is a swordsman born for the sword, and of course, he is willing to die for the sword. If Yen 13 dies, it's okay. Since Yen 13 is still alive now, he will go and compete with the other party. Shimen Chueshue, Yen 13's deadly 15 swords are so powerful. Why don't you have to deal with him? Shimen Chueshue has not many good friends, but Lu Xiaofeng is definitely one of them. After witnessing the deadly 15 swords, Lu Xiaofeng really didn't want Shimen Chuexue to fight against Yan 13. Only a swordsman like that is worthy of being my opponent. Shimen Chuexue is very conceited and eccentric, and this time is no exception. It seems difficult for him to find Yan 13. The Ming Dynasty, Hulong Mountain Villa. Marquis Zhu of the Iron Gallbladder God ignored the fact that he had already dispatched the 4 great spies of the Xian Huang of heaven and earth to search for Yan 13 within the territory of the Ming Dynasty. This is really a very dangerous person. If it cannot be used by the Dragon Protection Villa, it must also be closely monitored. Zhu ignored the darkness in his eyes and did not regret Yan 13's death. This kind of martial arts master who is not under his control makes him feel very bad. At the same time, people from all over the world, including the Great Qin, Great Tang, Great Song, and Great Li, were also dispatched to search for Yan 13. Some people want to obtain his deadly 15 swords, while others want to represent the court in recruiting him. For many people in Kyushu, such a character has great appeal. Among the 9 rivers and lakes in the world, only the northern Yang rivers and lakes have little movement. Because in the prince's mansion of King Liangshan, there is the Su Bai Gongzi, who is the god of calming the sea. Even if Yan 13's deadly 15 swords were very terrifying, they were not enough to cause a huge shock to the entire northern Liang prince's mansion. In the royal mansion, most people's gaze was fixed on the 9 provinces demon list in the sky. Unfortunately, the Kyushu demon list has now been folded down and turned into a huge scroll, eventually disappearing. The Kyushu demon list is like a scroll unfolded by divine beings. After commenting on the 20th person on the magic list, I am preparing to continue commenting on another day. The crowd didn't wait too long, and the Kyushu demon list reappeared. But everyone didn't expect that the character appearing on the 9 provinces demon list this time would surprise everyone in the Qingliang Mountain Prince's mansion. P.S. Is there anyone else reading this book? If there are any, please kneel down and ask everyone to cast some flowers, give tips, give feedback, and leave comments. Thank you. Whenever there is a reward, it will explode at 10 tomorrow. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 7 Magic List 19. People slaughter Su Xiao. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7 Magic List 19. People slaughter Su Xiao. In the prince's mansion of Qingliang Mountain, everyone is eagerly anticipating. Here we go. The Kyushu demon list is about to start counting the 19th demon in Kyushu. Throughout the palace, many people looked eagerly at the sky. This time, the crowd did not crowd in the Haran courtyard, but came to an observation deck in the Wang mansion. Haran courtyard was the residence where Su Bai lived, although the entire royal family was very close to Su Bai Gongzi. But since the appearance of the Kyushu demon list has not brought any terrifying things, there is no need for everyone to hide in the Haran Academy. When the Kyushu demon list reappeared this time, Su Bai also gained experience and came to the observation deck with everyone to admire the influential figures on the list. Su Bai Gongzi, who would be the 19th ranked demon in the 9 provinces demon list. It was Qinghuan, the first-class servant girl in Wudong Yard, who asked. I can't say for sure about this matter. Let's watch it together and we'll soon find out. Su Bai said in a warm voice. Qinghuan certainly doesn't really want to know who the 19th ranked demon is. She just wants to get closer to the gentle and jade-like Su Bai young master. Su Bai Gongzi is very friendly to people and treats everyone very well. When talking to him, he feels like basking in spring breeze. Young master. Why is it the Kyushu demon list? It would be great if we could take stock of the Kyushu young master list. It was Sweet Potato who spoke this time. She was also a first-class servant girl in Wudong Yard. After being renamed Sweet Potato, Su Bai changed her name back to the original name of Hongyuan. However, There are still many people in the prince's mansion of Qingliang Mountain who like to use the name, Sweet Potato, to tease her. Yes, yes. If this inventory is based on the list of young masters from Kyushu, even the renowned Xiangshui Chuliuxiang from Kyushu is still 3 points inferior to my Su Bai young master. There are many beautiful maids in the royal mansion, and as you speak, I speak. Everyone is quite depressed. Why not take a list of Kyushu young masters? Yes, if we were to compile a list of Kyushu young masters, your highness may have a place. Prince Su Fengnian of Beiliang spoke confidently. He didn't boast either. His appearance, like Princess Wushu, was indeed dignified and dignified. Everyone, look. The Kyushu demon list has changed. Jiang and I, the little clay figure, spoke out excitedly. After speaking it out, she became a bit nervous again. After all, she is not even a second-class servant girl in the Wutong yard. At this moment, of course, no one bullied her because everyone's attention was focused on the list of Kyushu demons. Above the sky, a huge scroll slowly unfolds. Immediately after, a few lines of small characters appeared on the Kyushu demon list. Demon List 19, Slaughtering Su Xiao. Northern Liang King Su Xiao, the leader of 300,000 iron cavalry in Northern Liang. One of the 3 great demons of chaos, spring and autumn under his command, 300,000 iron cavalry went through more than 200 battles, big and small, and defeated all the kingdoms of the spring and autumn period. Countless souls have died under the iron cavalry of Beiliang. When they saw these few lines of crimson characters, everyone in the northern young prince's mansion was very surprised. After being shocked, it's a surprise. As long as you can make it to the Kyushu demon list, there are rewards. Like Yen 13, who ranked first on the list, he received a reward for rebirth. Mr. Su Bai. Prince Su Xiao of Beiliang suddenly stood up and came to Su Bai's side. After seeing Yen 13 reborn, he had a bold idea in his heart. This matter may not be feasible. Before the northern young king could reveal what was going on, Su Bai shook his head. Others don't know what the king of northern Liang is thinking, but there are still a few who know. Su Bai is one of those few people. The reward that Prince Su Xiao of Beiliang wanted in his heart was obviously to revive the Queen Wushu. But this kind of thing is really hard to say. Because the rewards given by the Kyushu demon list are random and cannot be wished, it is not something that can be obtained just by asking for it. Sigh. Upon hearing Su Bai's words, Su Xiao could only sigh deeply. Of course, he also understood that Su Bai was right. This kind of thing can only be determined by fate. The prince doesn't need to be like this. The Kyushu monster list is not a one-time deal, and the list will be re-evaluated over time. Even if the goal is not achieved this time, there may not be a chance for the next ranking evaluation. As for the prince, as long as Beiliang becomes more prosperous and stable, the combat power of the 300,000 iron cavalry in Beiliang will become more magnificent. This 9 provinces demon list, the prince will definitely be able to stay on the list. As soon as Su Bai uttered these words, Su Xiao, who had just been looking a bit lethargic, suddenly regained his energy. At this moment, Su Xiao seemed no longer a cripple, but a person galloping freely on the battlefield. Amidst the surprised gazes of many people in the palace, Su Xiao bowed to Su Bai. Although everyone was surprised, it was not unacceptable. Because the humble young master across from the prince is almost omnipotent Su Bai. At this moment, there has also been a change on the list of Kyushu demons. There are absolutely not many people in the world who truly understand the history of Su Xiao, the king of northern Liang, who made his fortune. No one can imagine that at the beginning of his career, the king of northern Liang was also a low-level white-clothed man. The image on the sky has changed. On the screen, an ordinary young man joins the army and becomes an ordinary soldier. What? Ren-Tu Su Xiao is not from a wealthy and powerful family background. He was also originally dressed in cloth clothes. Countless people in the 9 provinces of the world are shaking at this moment. Su Xiao's impressive achievements have already been seen by everyone in the inventory lyrics. Who would have thought that Su Xiao, with such impressive achievements and the reputation of being a butcher, was originally just a cloth-clothed man? Upon discovering the majestic power of Dali, Beiliang, and Beiliang, the king of Beiliang, Su Xiao, rose to power after the end of the Wei dynasty. In the 9 provinces of the world, there are countless gazes at the thin figure on the screen. On the screen, Su Xiao's rise is long. After joining the Dali army, he was just an ordinary infantry soldier. In a battle, the sergeant died and became the sergeant. Later, due to his bravery in battle, he became the sergeant. In this way, he gradually became a centurion, and a general. He has been at war all along and often loses. Several times, he fought tirelessly on the battlefield, leaving only a few brothers. At this point, the screen changed. Prince Su Xiao of Beiliang encountered the biggest difficulty since joining the army. He suffered another defeat, and the entire army was wiped out. Even he himself crawled out of the pile of dead with a severely injured body. On that day, there was heavy rain in the city of Tian. Su Xiao, without a single soldier, stood in the rain for a long, long time. The front personnel of the military department come and go, but it seems to have nothing to do with him. When he was almost in despair, there was finally a military tycoon passing by with a playful attitude. Throw him a talisman that can mobilize 100 soldiers. In the pouring rain, Su Xiao took the military talisman and expressed his gratitude to this military leader, saying that he would definitely repay his great kindness. P.S. Is there anyone else reading this book? If there are any, please kneel down and ask everyone to cast some flowers, give tips, give feedback, and leave comments. Thank you. Whenever there is a reward, it will explode at 10 tomorrow. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 8. A cloth. Stepping to the extreme in spring and autumn. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8. A cloth. Stepping to the extreme in spring and autumn. The image of the Kyushu demon list is portrayed in everyone's eyes. Through those scenes, many people from all over Kyushu have rediscovered the king of Northern Liang. We all know the struggle history of this Northern Liang king from a young person to a prominent figure. Surprisingly, this Northern Liang king has gone through so many hardships before gradually reaching a high position. If it were an ordinary person, I wouldn't know how many times they have died. Throughout Kyushu, many people gave fair evaluations everywhere. Su Xiao's experience is impressive, but it is definitely not inspiring. Because if it were an ordinary person, not only would they not be able to follow Su Xiao's old path, but they might even not know how they died. In the prince's mansion of Qingliang Mountain, many people were also looking at Su Xiao with a shocked expression at the moment. There are absolutely very few people who know all about the past of the Northern Liang king. Countless people only saw the majesty of the Northern Liang king, but did not know that he had escaped death countless times and crawled out of the pile of dead people. In the Grand Qin Palace, the face of the Qin Emperor became somewhat solemn. Is this the master of the Northern Liang world? The Qin Emperor looked at the resolute figure in the picture, with a solemn expression in his eyes. The experience of the Northern Liang king is similar to his. The Northern Liang king conquered the spring and autumn period, he conquered the 6 kingdoms, and unified the world. Your Majesty, the son of a daughter is unable to sit down, and the prince of Northern Liang is not. At this moment, eunuch Xiao Gao wanted to step on Su Xiao's feet and praise Emperor Qin. In his opinion, Su Xiao always rushes into battle, just a reckless person. Shut up. If you dare to make noise again, you'll get out. Yingzheng gave Xiao Gao a cold and indifferent glance, making him feel scared and afraid to say anything nonsense. Lise. After reprimanding Zhao Gao, Yingzheng summoned Li Si. I am here. Qin Xianli took a step forward and waited for the dispatch. Now that the great Qin dynasty has settled, we need to pay attention to all the movements in the other 8 regions of the 9 provinces. The ambition of Emperor Qin was not limited to the entire Qin dynasty. Although it was very difficult for De Qin to control the other 8 kingdoms. But just as Duke Mu of Qin believed that it was impossible to sweep the world, the 6 states and the world have already belonged to Qin. Here. Li Si understands your Majesty's meaning. It is very important to record in detail the life of King Su Xiao of Northern Liang. I don't want the Lord of Beiliang to be such a tenacious person. It's a pity that I haven't been able to see you in this life. Drinking and chatting happily is truly regrettable. In the Tang dynasty, Emperor Li Shimin spoke with great regret. His and Su Xiao's lives also share similarities. Both of them had a long military career, and only then did they finally gain glory and wealth. Of course, as the eternal emperor, the heavenly Khan also strengthened his wrist in some things. He can kill his brother, force his father to give way to him, and he can also marry his younger brother's concubine. But these are not important, because he is the winner and the coveted Li heir by countless people. In the great Song dynasty, the face of the emperor was somewhat unshakable. Because in the great Song dynasty, apart from the founding monarch who was very capable of fighting, other monarchs were not as powerful. In the process of strategizing, only those who are skilled in battle can win a decisive victory thousands of miles away. The Emperor of Song pondered for a long time, but could only speak like this. Your Highness, Yu Wumu, and many other generals have a pale complexion. Everyone was secretly saying in their hearts, Your Majesty, you can pull it down. Please don't micromanage the battle situation. In the Ming dynasty, the emperor did not work in the court, but in the palace as a carpenter. The emperors of Kyushu are not lacking in mediocre monarchs, nor are they lacking in heroic lords who strive for excellence and expand their territories. But the number of carpenter emperors is definitely very small. You didn't read it wrong, and I didn't write it randomly. The emperor of the Ming dynasty today is an emperor who likes to do carpentry. Your Majesty, the 19th demon on the Kyushu demon list has been selected. Duke Wei, who was 9,000 years old, came to the front of Emperor Ming and said seriously. 9,000 years old is certainly a shorthand, because the full name of this guy is 9,900 years old, and because there is no such thing, it is 100 years younger than 10,000 years old. The emperor of the Ming dynasty looked up at Zhou Qiansui with a clear hint of displeasure on his face. He is not very concerned about the Kyushu demon list. He hates having someone disturb him as a carpenter now. Your Majesty, the demon of the demon list 19 is the human butcher Su Xiao. This person is the ruler of the northern Liang world, we have to guard against him. 9,000 years old is certainly not a good person. He doesn't say these things, but some people have told Emperor Ming. Got it, let's go down. After the emperor of the Ming dynasty finished speaking, he continued to work diligently as a carpenter. A monarch like the emperor of the Ming dynasty who is obsessed with woodworking and pays little attention to Su Xiao is just an exception. Other monarchs are now carefully examining the images on the sky. Tian City, Dali Imperial Palace. Emperor Dali, Zhao Chun, is now carefully observing the scene on the sky. That is the growth history of Su Xiao, one of the major troubles in Dali's heart. The issue between Su Xiao and Beiliang was left over by the late Emperor Zhao Li. Your Majesty, the courtiers who have economic problems with Su Xiao should be severely punished. In front of Emperor Liang, the leader of Liang, Zhang Julu, spoke solemnly. The so-called economic issues, of course, are those guys in the picture who repeatedly collect Su Xiao's money. These people are also unlucky enough. They tried every means possible to scrape oil and water from Su Xiao at the beginning. Gold, silver, and jewelry are always pulled one car after another towards their own mansion. Su Xiao is a ruthless person, a person who doesn't want to die. As long as he doesn't die, he won't lose. All those who placed bets on Su Xiao and gave him support were not disappointed. But this kind of thing was originally only known by heaven and earth. After Su Xiaocheng became the 19th demon on the list, many civil and military ministers panicked. Not long after, many ministers came together before the emperor. "Your Majesty, I beg your Majesty to punish me for my guilt." Numerous officials came to the emperor and without saying a word, knelt down directly. "All that has happened before, that's it." Emperor Liang Zhaochun looked at these ministers with a cold gaze. Many ministers also trembled. The emperor's intention, of course, they understand that no matter what they have done in the past, they must not have any further connections with the Northern Liang king in the future. If not, then the new and old accounts will be settled together. "Thank you, Lord Longen." Many ministers only felt like they had gone through the gates of hell once. Although they supported Su Xiao and helped Liang conquer the world. But some of their methods are still somewhat despicable. Emperor Zhaochun did not say much, he had already known about these things. However, this is a historical legacy issue that involves a wide range of issues and cannot be explained clearly in just a few words. The image on the sky is also changing again at this moment. Previously, Su Xiao suffered a lot of defeats, but now it's the shining moment for Su Xiao to conquer the world. Destroy Western Shu, Western Chu, Southern Tang. Sweep the world with all your might. Leading 300,000 iron cavalry from Beiliang, they conquered the kingdoms of the spring and autumn period, slaughtered endlessly, and swept away the world of the spring and autumn period. P.S. Is there anyone else reading this book? If there are any, please kneel down and ask everyone to cast some flowers, give tips, give feedback, and leave comments. Thank you. Whenever there is a reward, it will explode at 10 tomorrow. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 9. Magic List 19 Rewards. Kyushu Earthquake. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9 Magic List 19 Rewards. Kyushu Earthquake. In the prince's mansion of Qingliang Mountain, everyone's gaze fell on the huge scene above the sky. At this time, the king of Northern Liang, Su Xiao, had already completed the magnificent transformation from a soldier to a prince. In the picture, the late emperor of Liang, Zhao Li, discusses merits and rewards. Su Xiao bestowed the title of Prince of Northern Liang, with a fiefdom of Northern Liang, commanding the entire territory of Northern Liang Road. Granting the title of Liang de Zhuguo. When the eunuch of the imperial household department was writing these few sentences, he spoke them out. Countless people from all over Kyushu have seen it, and the shock of many people in the picture is also very surprising to themselves. The only king with a different surname in Liang. The only great pillar kingdom of the Liang dynasty. With a body of cloth clothing, he has reached such a prestigious position. Su Xiao, the lord of Northern Liang, is truly remarkable. In the world of Kyushu, there are countless people who are deeply shocked and amazed by Su Xiao's history of prosperity at this moment. No wonder it's called human slaughter and even made it to the list of 19 demons. How many people would I kill to reach such a prestigious position step by step with a cloth-like body, and eventually become the co-leader of Beiliang? Some people have seen Su Xiao's resilience, while others have seen Su Xiao's boundless slaughter. At this point, almost everyone must admit that Su Xiao was named the 19th demon on the list, truly deserving of his reputation. No matter how powerful Yen 13 is on the Mo Bang 20, he is just one person. Su Xiao is the ruler of Beiliang, overseeing the entire Beiliang road and having 300,000 Beiliang iron cavalry under his command. Once this person fights again, how many people in Kyushu will turn into coke? After learning about the history of Su Xiao, the king of Northern Liang, and what kind of person he was, many people were somewhat worried. Although Beiliang has been peaceful for many years. But who knows, will this prince of northern Liang jump out and cause trouble again one day? Everyone. Mo Bang 20 is Sword Demon Yen 13, and Mo Bang 19 is King Su Xiao of northern Liang. The first 18 demons should be very powerful. After this person spoke, countless people around him showed an extremely serious expression on their faces. Sword Demon Yen 13, and there are also people slaughtering dangerous elements like Su Xiao. Surprisingly, it only ranks 20th and 19th on the magic chart. How cruel should the 18 guys in front of them be? How dangerous is it? For a moment, many people in the 9 provinces of the world were a bit nervous, afraid that there might be a dangerous element in the world they were in. There is only one exception, this is the Northern Liang Prince's mansion. Even if everyone knows that Beiliang is hiding other powerful characters, they don't worry. Because there is a young master named Su Bai in the Northern Liang Prince's mansion. I don't know what reward the prince will receive. Besides Su Bai, Yu Yue, who was holding a white cat, asked curiously. Wu Mainyang in her arms is currently licking her paws. Wu Mainyang doesn't care at all about the demon list on the sky. Judging from the previous rewards of Yen 13, the prince's rewards are not bad either. Su Bai gave a gentle smile, and he was also curious about what reward the demon list would give to the king of northern Liang. My adoptive father. Wanfu and Beiliang Road may require martial law during this period. The person who said this is Chen Jibao. The appearance of Su Bai brought about a huge transformation in the life trajectory of this rebellious person. It's not that he realized he didn't want to go against his conscience, but that Su Bai was there and he didn't dare to have any dissent. When Su Bai faces ordinary people, he is a humble gentleman, gentle as jade. But if faced with enemies, it would be like a nightmare. Chen Jibao is fortunate to have seen Su Bai take action. Why? After Chen Jibao spoke, Su Xiao asked. My adoptive father, from the rewards obtained by Sword Demon Yen 13, it seems that my adoptive father's rewards are definitely not simple. Although the prince's mansion is governed by the Prince Su Bai, everything is worry-free. However, 1 or 2 precautions need to be taken to avoid some midnight snacks that may disturb Su Bai's purity. Although Chen Jibao is a rebellious person, he has some abilities. A person without ability, even if he is a good person, has limited impact on those in power. And what about a capable person, as long as they can handle it, even if they are a villain? Accurate Prince Su Xiao of Beiliang nodded and agreed to this matter. Chen Jibao also immediately went down to do it, he no longer has too many ideas. Previously, he could still hope to endure Su Xiao to death, but now he can still endure Su Bai to death. Su Xiao is also looking forward to the reward for the Kyushu demon list. He doesn't want to gain any other benefits, he also wants to have a chance to be reborn. The person he wants to resurrect is Princess Wu Shu. Above the sky, the 9 provinces demon list has undergone another change at this moment. Su Bai's gaze also turned towards the demon list. Demon list 19, slaughtering Su Xiao. Su Xiao, it was originally Dali Ibu over the past 20 years, he devoted himself to the military with his cloth clothes and went through more than 200 battles, beheading countless people and killing endlessly. He killed with each knife, annihilated the spring and autumn kingdoms, and established the tripod for the world of Liang. Su Xiao, 19th place on the magic list, reward for the magic list. Rebirth of one person. When these few lines of crimson characters appeared on the demon list, the world was once again shocked. Even more shocking than the rebirth of Yen 13. The rebirth of Yen 13 is just to bring oneself back to life. The reward of being reborn alone can bring others back to life. Shua. On the demon list, a golden light fell down towards the prince's mansion in Qingliang Mountain, and in the end, it landed in Su Xiao's hands. This is a jade plaque with green lyrics and Dan Shu written on it. The purpose of this jade plaque is to revive one person. It is said that death cannot bring rebirth, but today, it is possible. Suddenly, the world of Kyushu was shocked. Even though there are natural barriers between the 9 provinces and the world, countless people still come to Beiliang. The temptation of being single again is really too great. In the world of Kyushu, countless people want to resurrect the person who is most important to them. Peach Blossom Island, picturesque scenery. There is a person here who says, "Peach blossom shadows fall and fly with divine swords, while the tide of the blue sea rustles against the jade flute." His real name is not well known to many people in the Song dynasty. However, he has a respectful title that is absolutely thunderous in the Song dynasty's martial arts world. Dongxie, Master Huang Yaoshi. Rebirth of one person. Rebirth of one person. On this day, Huang Yaoshi, who was watching the 9 provinces demon list, almost fell into madness. He is too excited, too excited. Over the long years, he thought of countless ways but failed to revive his wife. And now, his opportunity has come. Even if there is a natural barrier between Dasong and Beiliang, he will go to Beiliang for a walk. Not only Huang Yaoshi, but countless people from all over Kyushu are now crazy. Some want to resurrect their husbands, some want to resurrect their wives, and some want to resurrect their sons. This extremely precious opportunity is now in the hands of King Su Xiao of Beiliang, so they are going to Beiliang. However, everyone in Kyushu quickly became desperate. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 10. The Resurrection of Princess Wushu. At the beginning of today. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Chapter 10. The Resurrection of Princess Wushu. The world has met you for the first time today. That's. In the world of Kyushu, countless people's gaze turned to the sky. The huge scroll on the sky now reveals a scene from the prince's mansion in Qingliang Mountain. The Kyushu demon list seems to prove its rewards and is never false. So the picture on the huge scroll is a scene in the northern Liang prince's mansion. At this moment, Prince Su Xiao of Beiliang made a decision that surprised everyone present. Mr. Su Bai. Without you, there would be no Qingliang Mountain Prince's mansion, no Beiliang Su family. The Su family owes you a lot, and neither Su Xiao nor the entire northern Liang Prince's mansion can match your affection. This is the most precious thing Su Xiao has ever received in his life. I am willing to repay Mr. Su Bai's kindness. Su Xiao undoubtedly made this decision with great determination. He is not a ruthless person. Although Su Bai did not repay his kindness, Su Xiao would not pretend not to know. He believed that if he were really that kind of person, Su Bai would not stay in the northern young prince's mansion. The world is vast, where can't Su Bai go? What? Many people in the 9 provinces of the world are unaware of the power of Su Bai. Although this noble young master is dressed in white, standing tall and elegant in appearance. It has also appeared in the scene of Su Xiao getting rich before, but people are not aware that he has been so helpful to Su Xiao step by step until today. Who is this person? This issue has almost become a question for countless people in Kyushu. This can be considered a shocking surprise. Behind Su Xiao, the Prince of Beiliang, stood an unfathomable nobleman in white. Even the person who slaughtered Su Xiao showed great respect to this nobleman in white. Moreover, after obtaining the treasure that could revive a person, Su Xiao surprisingly chose to take it out first to repay the kindness. It's not easy to answer everyone's questions. So out of the 9 heavenly powers, 8 of them have already sent spies to Beiliang as soon as possible. In this world, there is someone who can make someone slaughter Su Xiao so respectfully. The key is that the rulers of the 8 kingdoms have almost no understanding of this person. This matter is really terrifying, they must thoroughly investigate the details of Su Bai. Without a doubt, this unfathomable young master Su Bai is definitely a more fierce person than Su Xiao. The prince's kindness is in my heart. This item is useless to me, it is for the prince's own use. I am here, and I expect that no one in Kyushu will stop the prince from using this item. Su Bai's reaction left countless people in the 9 provinces of the world stunned and speechless as they watched this scene. At this moment, everyone's gaze towards Su Bai was stunned and dumbfounded. This is a precious opportunity to be reborn as one person. Su Bai didn't even think about it and handed it back to the king of Northern Liang. What kind of person is this, and what kind of courage is this? For a while, many people understood why Prince Su Xiao of Northern Liang showed great respect to Su Bai. A person has extraordinary skills and incredible abilities, but when dealing with people and things, they are so sincere, friendly, and humble. Even though today is the first time countless people have seen Su Bai and met her. Many people still feel that Su Bai is very sincere and that becoming friends with him is a very fortunate thing. In the prince's mansion of Beiliang, as he gazed at Su Bai one after another, he was also full of kindness and gentleness. This is the Su Bai young master respected by all levels of the Northern Liang prince's mansion. This is Mr. Su Bai, whom everyone in the Northern Liang prince's mansion admires from the bottom of their hearts. Even in the face of the enormous benefits of being reborn, he can calmly put back the great benefits of that day. How many people in the world can do this? People are also outstanding. In the imperial palace of the Tang dynasty, the emperor spoke with emotion. At this moment, he probably wanted to have a hearty drink with Su Bai more than countless people in the world. It's a pity that such a handsome scholar is not my talent in the great Qin dynasty. In the imperial palace of the great Qin dynasty, Ing Zheng's eyes were filled with a look of regret. His gaze remained fixed on Su Bai, and if that reborn jade plaque or becoming Su Bai's close friend were to be chosen, he would have to choose between the two. Ing Zhenghui chooses a jade plaque for reincarnation. If we remove the jade plaque of reincarnation and put all things in the 9 provinces on it, then let Ing Zheng choose one. He will not hesitate to choose to become Su Bai's close friend. In the world of Kyushu, countless people knew one thing on this day. There is a strange person in the Northern Liang prince's mansion, named Su Bai. The king of Beiliang once gifted the only jade plaque in the world to Su Bai, but Su Bai did not accept it. From the words of the Northern Liang king, it can be heard that without Su Bai, there would be no Northern Liang king today, and there would be no Northern Liang Su family. He showed such kindness to the king of Beiliang and the Su family of Beiliang, but he did not show any gratitude in return. He can even refuse the precious jade plaque of reincarnation. What kind of strange man is this? How can we not make people yearn for it? In the Dali court, Emperor Zhao Chun's fear and resentment towards Beiliang did not diminish at all. However, Emperor Zhao Chun's gaze towards Su Bai was full of appreciation and admiration. If it were not for what he had seen and heard with his own eyes and ears, Emperor Zhao Chun would not have believed that there was such a man in this world. Even if both sides are in a hostile camp, he still wants to become friends with Su Bai. Under the gaze of numerous gazes, the Prince of Northern Liang once again led the Su family and bowed deeply to Su Bai. This time, Su Bai did not refuse and accepted it calmly. He was very calm on his face, and he didn't want any psychological burden on the Northern Liang king's heart. This jade plaque is priceless to people all over the world, but for him, it is nothing. The most interesting thing for everyone has also happened at this moment. In the scene above the sky, King Su Xiao of Northern Liang used that jade plaque. A bright white light enveloped the distance. In the holy radiance, there is a woman slowly walking out. Her face was full of confusion, clearly unaware of what had happened. But she soon burst into tears, seeing her own son and her son as she grew up. She is a mother who has finally seen her child again. Xiangnian. Su Xiao. Wu Shu didn't know what was going on, she just looked at the father and son in front of her with immense joy. Mother. Su Fengnian's tears have already burst the embankment. For many years, his endless longing for his mother has now turned into tears. Su Xiao's eyes were also filled with tears. This hidden Iron Man even has moments to shed tears. That year, she dressed in white and beat the drums for the Northern Liang army at the city head. That year, he led the Northern Liang Iron Cavalry in a deadly battle with a determined heart to die. Things are different, people are different. Let everything rest. If you want to speak, tears will flow first. Fortunately, the result was good. He hasn't died yet, and she has also returned. Mr. Su Bai. Wu Shu quickly turned her gaze back to Su Bai on the side. When she was still at the Wu family sword tomb, Mr. Su Bai looked like this. Now that countless years have passed, Mr. Su Bai still looks like this. She became more and more convinced that Mr. Su Bai was indeed a banished immortal. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th.